Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for All About Android is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
This episode of All About Android is brought to you by Braintree. If you're a developer or manager of a mobile app and searching for the right payments API, check out Braintree. Braintree's new V0 SDK makes it easy to support multiple mobile payment types with one simple integration. To learn more and to try out their sandbox, go to braintreepayments.com/twit. And by Harry's. For guys who want a great shave experience for a fraction of what you're paying now, go to harrys.com. Get $5 off your first purchase by entering the code AAA when you check out. And by lynda.com. Lynda.com is an easy and affordable way to help you learn. Instantly stream thousands of courses created by experts on business software, web development, graphic design, and more. For a free trial, visit lynda.com/allaboutandroid. That's LYNDA.com/allaboutandroid. Hello and welcome to another episode of All About Android, episode 188, recorded on Tuesday, November 18th, 2014. We're your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Jason Howell.
I'm Ron Richards.
I'm Gina Trapani.
Man, the three of us, we made it, but by the skin of our teeth. Ron, you just flew in from outer space.
Yes,
right?
Yes. No, I just landed from the UK about an hour ago.
Thing.
So yeah, so there you go.
Okay,
so I'm a little wonky.
Yeah,
but I'm here.
You've been up a long time, and then Gina, you've had like a million-day sickness at this point.
I have. I emerged from a mountain of tissues and a lake of Dayquil. To do
That
this
sounds
show
miserable.
tonight, so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been awesome. I'm happy to enter the land of the living at least for an hour or so. So I'm happy to be here.
I have a feeling you're on the mend. I'm going to go ahead and say it tomorrow. You're going to feel 100%.
It's
from your
gonna
mouth
be
to my white blood cells or whatever is going on in here. Yeah.
It's gonna be the race this week to see who passes out mid-show first. That's really what it's gonna be.
Please don't pass out. Although I'm curious and I'm taking bets in the chat room. We also welcome another Ron to the show. Welcoming back, of course, Ron Amadeo, Ars Technica. How's it going, sir?
What's up, guys? I'm great. How are you?
Excellent. Doing fantastic. Always great to have you on the show. Love following your work on Ars Technica. Just always super thoughtful. And we have a bunch of your stories in the rundown today, so we'll be talking all about it.
It's always fun to be here.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming back. We have a lot to discuss. We've got YouTube Music Key, something that we've been hearing little rumors about for the last few months. It's finally kind of a real thing. Samsung's shrinking lineup of smartphones, kind of, in a Samsung way. Nokia's N1 tablet. Snapchat's Snapcash features for Android first, which is kind of interesting, and more. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we just check out some news, get to it? Let's do it.
Another week is here, and now it's time for Android news. And I totally didn't come up with that at the last minute.
That was good. It's almost as if you've been thinking about that all day long.
Or like the last 5 seconds.
What's bad? What Bryan hasn't realized now is that he set a level of expectation for the Android news bumper,
I know.
and he hasn't quite been prepared to deliver on that expectation recently. I'm just saying.
I prepare the show, and then by the time I get to that transition, I'm like, oh, I should say something.
What you probably need to start doing is when you have moments of brilliance, like when you're walking around town or whatever, pull out Google Keep on your phone.
Good idea.
Write it down and just create a list of them, and then you can just add them every week.
This just in, Bryan needs to add more news.
Just a little pre-show, pre-prod. You know, that's what we're saying. You know, like a little production.
I did it once as a gag, and now I'm stuck doing it.
And now it's a bit, and now we expect it, and that's what happens. You know, when you get a good bit, you get a catchphrase going on. Everyone wants to hear it, so there you go.
So what happened this week, Jason?
I don't know, Ron.
I will tell you about the thing that we all knew that was coming that finally came. So Google finally revealed and announced the much rumored and leaked, I actually heard about this 2 weeks ago, Music Key service, which will enable unlimited music on YouTube with no ads, with background and offline listening included. So YouTube, realizing how much music is being listened to on the service, is now creating Music Key to allow people to enjoy that music both offline and in the background. So basically for $9.99, you get Music Key and Play Music All Access. It's important to note that it's not just Play All Access. They're two kind of things. Play Music subscribers should get access to Music Key sometime this week. And a beta invite is being sent to our, quote, our biggest music fans first that will enable a 6-month free trial. So now we got Google Play Music and we got YouTube Music Key all in the same boat going on. So
yeah, now and I have the updated. Oh, that's really bright. Let me take that down a notch here. What's going on my phone? I just want to lower brightness. That's all I want to do. So I have the updated YouTube app. Stop. And it has a music tab, but this is not Music Key from what I understand. This is just like part of the rollout. Music Key, I think, is going to be its own section. It will roll out later this week to, like you said, Ron, all access subscribers. It's going to be lumped in, but I don't believe it's just this tab, because there's, when I start playing this My Mix thing, which unfortunately is going to play all about that bass, there's no way to like put it to the background. So I don't think this is all access or the Music Key.
Yeah, that's not it quite yet, right?
No, I think this is just kind of
it's going to be something. I'm excited about this, but I'm having some like cognitive dissonance around like separating. Like YouTube in my mind is just video, and I love Play Music, and I've actually gotten really into it. And I know you guys are like music nerds, but I'm totally suffering from that middle-aged mom thing where like my music taste is like frozen from where it was like in college. But the songs and stuff that All Access just added, the custom radio stations depending on your contacts has been
so
awesome.
Great.
And I've been
so
listening
great.
to so much more new stuff, which has been really great. I'm excited, but now I'm kind of like, Music Key, I don't know. Do I really want YouTube? It's without ads, so that's cool.
I mean, I think this is a case of YouTube acknowledging what a large percentage of their users are doing and supporting it. Because whether or not you can sit down. I'm sure when Chad who were the guys who started YouTube, when they sat down in 2005, 2006, and they said they want an easy way to share video with their friends, they didn't probably think that people are going to create a 60-minute long video of the audio from an album and upload it.
Right.
And so as opposed to having these pirated versions and all this sort of stuff happening, they're taking steps to try to control it and try to say, okay, users, we understand you want to listen to music on YouTube, so we're going to enable it. We're going to work with the labels. We're going to work with the bands. We're going to set it up so that you can do that to kind of somewhat legitimize this unplanned use case for the service. So I think I'm with you. I've got some dissonance on it as well. I don't see myself using this. I'll use Google Play All Access, but how many millions of people use YouTube and never touch Google Play Music?
I'm offended by YouTube Music, whatever this is called. Just like I've wanted background playback of video for a while, and that's a feature that you can do on your desktop for free. And to artificially limit the mobile app and charge you a monthly fee to do something that you can do on your computer for free is just like really dumb to me. It just seems, I don't know, it just seems like a money grab. And like, what do they do with all the music that's already on YouTube? Like, you can already listen to any song on YouTube for free. So how does this work? Like, I'm just kind of sitting here and waiting to see what this is going to look like when it finally comes out, because as far as I can see right now, you can already listen to any music you want for free on YouTube, and it's ad supported. And
I mean, is this just a way for legitimizing the licensing of the music on YouTube? Like
no,
yes,
because it already gets pulled down, and it's all on like Vivo and stuff. Anyway, is it Vivo?
Vivo.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like the use case is unclear too. So the promo video for Music Key is like all the classic music things that happen on YouTube that even I know, not being a music nerd. It's like the baby dancing to Beyonce and the Numa Numa guy and like Justin Bieber before he was discovered. and you're like, okay, but like that's stuff I watch. It's these dudes doing like crazy covers. Like this is stuff I watch. These are videos I watch. I don't know that these are covers or treatments that I'm necessarily just gonna listen to. Maybe some of them. I don't know. But I don't go to YouTube necessarily to listen to songs. I go there to watch videos. Maybe that's going to change. I don't know.
That's interesting. The vast majority of those videos are not professional artists. So do the amateurs get this money?
Right, or if the amateurs have amateurs in air quotes have ads enabled on their video, right? This would ultimately be bypassing those ads, right? And just allowing people to watch the content. Are they going to get a cut of this? That's a really good question.
And I'm on my cell phone. I'm on a limited data connection. If I want to listen to music, YouTube is my last resort because I don't want to stream a video if I'm going to listen to music. That's like a crazy waste of bandwidth.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel the same way, although, well, okay, so for let's say the kids that are going to YouTube these days, that just made me sound very old, to play all their music, is this enticing enough for that group to pay $9.99 per month? Like, I can see why Google might want to do this because they want to goose subscriber, bring up their subscriber numbers for their music initiative across the board. And I don't know how successful Play Music has been, the Play Music All Access service has been in that regard. But this bundling it together effectively, means that everything rises at the same level. Is that enticing enough for this particular market of YouTube users? I'm not sure that it is, but yeah, like you say, we're not part of this group, I think.
Yeah, or is it just using the YouTube brand, which is so strong,
right,
to sell, a music product, whereas Play is a much less strong brand.
Yeah.
An interesting choice to phase out that name and call it Music Key instead of Play Music. I don't know.
That's a good point. This is one of those moves that's more beneficial to Google than it is to consumers. Google is, hey, YouTube's an awesome brand. Lots of people watch music on it. Let's try to sell music through YouTube. And that was totally the boardroom pitch for that. And this doesn't. I don't think that works out for users. I could see how executives would like the idea, but.
Having said that, it is included in the same price that I know I'm paying like $7.99 because I got in on the introductory price of Play Music All Access when it was first announced. But for that same price that anyone would pay, $9.99 for that service, you get this bundled in. So it's not like you're paying extra for it. It's an extra service. It's just a little confusing. It's a little confusing to know why I would turn to YouTube. But once it rolls out, heck, maybe I'm going to realize why. And, there are a lot of things that aren't on Play Music that are on YouTube, continuous mixes, dance, albums particularly. A lot of those you're going to find single tracks on Play Music. With YouTube, you might find the entire album, and that might be a way to enjoy that. It's just when it's that case, then it's a broken up experience, and that gets confusing in and of itself. It's like, oh, well, do I go over there? Do I go over there for this album? Because I don't even know where to go. So
yeah, I guess we kind of we have to kind of reserve judgment to see what the experience is going to be like. To see how they knit it all together.
And wait a minute, and now if memory serves, there was an app that was brought into the arena that allowed you to play YouTube videos in the background very recently, right?
It was Gina's app, I believe. Yeah.
That was mine a couple of weeks ago, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." And and people were like, "Oh, I listen to music all the time, and I just want to be able to minimize it and do other things."
There you go.
I was like, "Oh, that's not something that I do, but this is clearly a thing that people want to do." And boom, here's Google, enabling that in YouTube app. So it's clearly a use case.
Yeah.
It is, and that's my point. And I think bundling it with Play the Google Play Music All Access, whatever you want to call it, was the right move, because then you're just covering all your bases, and you're saying, okay, you like music, you get it here, and now you're covered. And I think once we see it roll out, once we see how it works, it's got to make sense, given that this has been rumored and murmured about for long enough that that they've been really thinking about this and trying to get it right as right as they can. So I'm curious to see how it goes. I mean, like I've listened, I primarily listen on Google Play Music, but I found myself on YouTube watching, live video of live performances, or sometimes there's a song you can't find and someone's uploaded it there or whatever. So I'm kind of curious to see how it will play out. But I think it's interesting that it's a case of sometimes you don't get to dictate what your users want to do with your application.
And are artists suddenly going to benefit from like bootlegs of their shows that end up online? Like, is that included with this too? In which case, that's good for the artists as long as they get a nice cut of it. Yeah. But so yeah, I'm curious to see how it pans out. All right, moving on, Gina. What's the next stop on this bus ride?
Next stop here. an update to Google Play services. This is the new version 6.5. Has a few new features, but I'm not going to bury the lead. I think the one that's probably most exciting is a new update to Smart Lock in which ships with Lollipop. Of course, Smart Lock is the feature that lets you say, hey, don't make me unlock my phone if it's connected to this Bluetooth device. Well, Google's adding trusted places to Smart Lock that lets you say, hey, if I'm at home or if I'm at work, don't lock my phone. Of course, there's some risks there. Someone could take your phone while you're at the office and have it not be locked. So if you want to use the Bluetooth tethering, like for me, I've got my Android Wear watch. I'm definitely going to enable that so I don't have to unlock my phone when I've got it's near me and near connected to my watch. But trusted places is also really, really nice if you just don't want to have to unlock your phone at home. A couple of other updates.
What's up, Bryan?
Sorry, go ahead.
When I had talked to the Android guys at Google, they had said that they had moved some of the lock screen stuff off into Google Play services, and it's cool to see them just kind of like instantly roll out this new feature for the lock screen in the unbundled app. But I don't know how good of an idea this is, because you can spoof the GPS location with the SDK by just kind of, hook a wire up to your computer and just kind of tell it, I am now at this person's house. And then it will think it's there and would probably unlock. Somebody needs to test that. And see
I suppose that's a good question. What is location in this instance? Because I haven't gotten the update yet, so I can't actually enable it. But is the location specified by Wi-Fi or is it geofencing?
Yeah, it's just a geofence. You stick a spot on the map, and it does GPS coordinates to see where it is. So someone could drive by your house, and your phone would unlock.
Right.
And all sorts of stuff where if somebody knows your address, you're basically screwed for this.
See, I would have hoped for a Wi-Fi access point match like that. That would have been my preferred
that's what
method
everybody's
of that.
asking for.
Oh well, that's a bummer.
But I mean, the situation in which someone has physical access to your device enough to plug it into a machine with a USB cable. I mean, couldn't they get past the PIN code that way anyway, right? I mean, maybe not. I don't know. But at that point, this definitely sounds like kind of good enough kind of security. You know what I mean? Like the lock that someone could break through. Right. I don't know.
Somebody would have to have your device in their possession and go through these steps in order to gain access to it. So right there, you're talking about, most cases that's probably not going to happen. But if you have really sensitive data on your device and there's the actual fear of someone doing that, this could be a way around it. It's probably not the most secure way to get into your device. Setting up any instant disable, of your security lock is way less secure than just having your security lock and using it 100% of the time, no matter what.
Right. But this Google Play Services update also includes a couple of other upgrades to Google Drive. It gives you extra controls for managing how and when your device syncs documents. The Google Fit API adds improvements to how it tracks the duration of movements, turning blocks of movement into an hour of movement, for example. Maps, offering a light mode for small, low-footprint apps for developer inclusion. Better system intents for developers. And Wallet, adding a donate with Google button. So again, we're seeing Google, decoupling, pretty low, what's feel like low-level system updates into Play services and rolling them out to everyone. So that's pretty nice. I haven't gotten this update yet either, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and what's cool, another thing in there is you can now take the Google Play Services APIs and pick what you want. Before you would have to import the entire brick of Google Play Services into your app, and that would hit some kind of limit. I'm not an expert on this, but you would quickly fill up whatever your quota is for the amount of stuff you're allowed to have in an app. And now you can kind of split up Google Play Services and pick what you want and import it into your app. I had heard developers complain about this a lot. And,
that's nice.
Apparently, they just kind of fixed it.
Nice.
Yeah, it sounds more modular.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I just thought this was interesting. Motorola, of course, has the Spotlight Player app. Every once in a while, Motorola releases a new experience that requires, and basically what this is I can't remember the name of the previous ones. I think there have been two prior, but essentially you use your phone to kind of navigate through a scene or, kind of a little miniature movie. So wherever you're pointing your phone, you're kind of following the scene and the action on the movie. Well, there's a new one, much anticipated, called Duet. Glenn Keane, who was in charge of the animation for this feature, he also did, worked for Disney, did The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, so high quality animation here. And that just released. I saw clips from this. I think did they play the entire thing or clips from it at Google I/O?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
And it was really impressive. And you can actually watch, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube. They actually have it, so if you don't want to follow it around with your device, you can just sit back and watch. But it's just great pencil drawn animation. But yeah, kind of cool stuff. I have to imagine with the Nexus 6, you can run this, right? It's a Motorola device. Do you know if that's possible, or is there something special on the other Moto devices?
That's a good question. I was just going to say the biggest bummer about the Spotlight player is you have to have like a Moto X or a Moto G or whatever to use it. I don't think so. It doesn't come with it.
Huh.
I don't know.
I wonder if it would
find out.
Install and play, but it's kind of a cool thing. It's one of those things that kind of sounds like, okay, yeah, whatever. But when you actually do it, when you have your device in your hand and you kind of follow it around, throw in those headphones, so that's, kind of immersive. It's a really cool experience. It's worth checking out. This looks like the one to do at this point. They've all been pretty cool so far, but this one's just really well done from what it looks like. So
I'm gonna go with no.
Oh, really?
Not showing up in search results.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Oh.
It's a
was the first
device.
iteration of this was the hat, the little red hat?
Yes.
That kind of flew around on the first.
I believe that
Moto
was the
X?
first one. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mouse in the hat, and then there was a bug one.
Right.
And and then
Windy Day and Buggy Night. Thank you,
Right,
C14SS.
It is a solid 10 minutes of entertainment, and then you're done.
Right. And I think they said from I/O when they interviewed Glenn about this, like the amount of work that went into animating this and designing it for that particular viewing experience. I mean, it was just intense. Like you're not just putting an image up on a screen. You're actually plotting out kind of where in space this animation takes place, and as the viewer, you're expected to kind of follow along. So there's a participation kind of aspect to it. So cool stuff. Kind of a different medium for entertainment, watching entertainment. So you gotta love that. Cool. All right, Ron. Yes. Ron Richards.
Thank you.
Sorry for the confusion.
We have an email from the entitlement file. This comes in from Jonathan from New York, who says, I've been a listener since the beginning. I think you guys are terrific.
Oh, thanks.
I hope this week you guys discuss the frustrations felt by Nexus owners who have been subjected to delays during the OTA Lollipop rollout. I have an unlocked Nexus 5 now on T-Mobile. It's Sunday, November 16th night. Nothing. No update. I feel like I've been wronged.
Oh, Jonathan.
All right, Jonathan.
I'm sorry.
I'm right there with you, buddy. I got a Nexus 5 unlocked on T-Mobile. I have not gotten it. Wronged. I wouldn't go that far. It's like I'm anxious. I'd like to get it, but wronged. It's not like Google or anybody came to my house and punched me in the nose.
That's next, Ron. That's next.
I know. Just like, and then showed me what I couldn't have. Like it's clearly it's gonna go out when it's ready, and I'd rather it go out when it's ready and work than go out when we want it and have it be buggy, right? I mean, isn't that the? I mean. Unless I missed an article when I was abroad, I think that's what's going on, and I'd rather have that happen. So
well, everything's pretty much out right now except for the cellular stuff.
Right.
I mean except for the cellular tablets, so like the LTE Nexus 7 and the 3G Nexus 7. So all the system images are out. All the OTA zips are pretty much out. There's a big cool article on Android Police where they have all the little OTA links. So I mean, the rollouts take up to 3 weeks,
and they always do.
Yeah, right. They always do. It's totally normal. Everybody complains about it like it's new. It's been this way forever. Just if you want it right now, man up or woman up and root your device and install it. Or no, I don't.
Or not even root. No, just
anymore.
Unlock your device. Although when you do it that way,
you wipe your device.
You wipe your device. So you start.
I think you can just do. If you install the SDK, I think you can just sideload the OTA zips.
Oh, okay.
Now, probably it's like you install the SDK, you do like ADB sideload your zip file, and then it should just go. I think Google some of those words. and you'll find it probably.
Google's a good search engine. Just putting in those words will probably give you something. Yeah, I mean, and obviously this process is not for the weak. The weak at heart, as far as if you're not a tinkerer, or if tinkering scares you in any way, then you probably don't want to do this. And then yes, you are locked into waiting for the OTA. But waiting, even with a Nexus device, waiting a week or two for the update is not new. This is just how Google rolls stuff out. They roll stuff out in a small batch, and then if there are issues, that allows them to kind of take care of the issues before it reaches a wider number. And if there aren't, then they roll it out a little bit further. Going to your system update and hitting check for update is going to do no good. And in fact, there's been plenty of things that we talked about on the show from Googlers saying that actually can do more harm than good. But really,
no, it works. It works once every 24 hours, and then the check now button does nothing.
Right.
So it is purely placebo. I do wish they would spend a good week and kind of come up with some kind of early access thing that we can sign up for and get this rollout stuff first. Because I certainly wouldn't want the rollout testy stuff to go to somebody who's not tech savvy and has this crazy problem. If you're Google, you would want this to go out to the more technical users. They would file a bug or complain on a forum or something.
Yep.
That this stuff is wrong. The Chrome team does it. They have Chrome beta for Android, and it would be cool if we could just get one of those for OTAs and apps and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree that this email definitely comes off as a bit entitled, but, Google would win a lot of hearts with their more ardent fans if, all they have to do, I have this.
Yeah, no big deal.
As a side note, we have this bot in our Slack room at work which whenever somebody says, "Oh, just do it this way," the bot says "just," like in air quotes. So here I am, air quoting my own "just."
Nice.
But just the people who are manually tapping check for system updates are obviously the people who care. The times that I feel like personally slighted, not me, my theoretical friends of people of mine that I know, is when somebody who does not care gets the update before I do, when I care so much that I've tapped the friggin' check now button 10 times. So I realize this is extremely low on Google's priority list. I just wish that they know who cares enough to be
really
manually checking. I wish that they would prioritize those people in the queue. Not a big deal, but
kind of make it
also, I would like Lollipop.
Make it like a pre-order. An interest intent. It's like if you ever went in to check for the next system update since it's rolled out, then it puts you on the list. It's like, all right, cool, you want it, so you'll get it next. Maybe not right now, but you'll get it next.
If you press the button 3 times within 1 minute, then it should just auto sign you up.
Well, or it could be something as even more proactive as providing an opt-in. Doing some sort of messaging saying, "Hey, there's a new version. Would you like to be amongst the first that get it? But by doing this, you're subject to bugs and that sort of thing, and we need you to report back." Having some sort of program, I think, could be a way around this entitlement problem.
Well, they went and built this beta thing that's built into Google Plus, where you can start a Google Plus community and sign up users for a beta thing. This is built into the Play Store, and then Google never used it.
Well, can you use it for for the operating system? I mean,
no, I feel like that's use it for app rollouts and stuff.
Yeah.
It's okay though. We have APK Mirror now, so we're good.
True, APK Mirror is pretty awesome.
Did you guys play with that? Artem from Android Police set it up, and you can get you can set up a push bullet notification. The second an APK gets posted to that site, your phone lights up and it's like new APK available that you can download. It's so awesome. Cool.
That's great. I'm gonna have to do that. I did read about that and I need to set it up. That's great. Yes, APK Mirror is awesome. Okay, let's take a break. Thank our first sponsor of today's episode before we get into hardware. This episode of All About Android is brought to you by Braintree. It's code for easy online payments. If you're a developer, I know we have a lot of developers that follow this show, or a product manager searching for the right payments API, check out Braintree. Braintree's V0 SDK makes it easy to support multiple mobile payment types. Start accepting Apple Pay, PayPal, Bitcoin, Venmo, all major debit and credit cards with one simple and fast integration. Braintree gives you an easy way to accept multiple payment types on mobile with one integration. Like I said, support for all payment types that your customers might want, which is perfect. 130 global currencies included in there. With the Braintree V0 SDK, it's one small snippet of code, and you're all set up. It's less than 10 minutes. It's simple, secure payments, code you can integrate in minutes. And developers, don't worry about taking days to integrate your payments with Braintree. It literally takes minutes. You can get right to it. And they'll actually walk you through the integration. If you need help, you just give them a call, and they'll help you through it. Braintree code supports Android, iOS, JavaScript clients, SDKs in 7 languages, .NET, Node.js, Java, Perl, PHP, Python, Ruby. It's elegant code, clear documentation, only 10 lines of in-app code, and best-in-class customer service. So they're right on top of it. If you have a question or problem, you're going to get a live person to talk to. Now, this is the most secure way to pay. Braintree is known for their back-end security and merchant protection. You don't have to worry about fraud. If you ever get hacked, Braintree has you covered. They use tokens to secure payment info, so users' credit card info isn't actually passed on to the merchant server. Braintree is the fastest, easiest, most secure way to pay, period. And it's no surprise Braintree is the payments API used by companies that you've heard of, that you recognize: Uber, Airbnb, Hotel Tonight, Living Social, GitHub. Braintree's made the payment experiences in these apps seamless and magical, and now you can add that similar experience to your own app. It's scaled with these companies, from early stage startups to successful companies that you recognize, that you know today. So Braintree can scale with your business as well, from processing your first dollar to your billionth, no matter how a customer would like to pay. So if you're searching for the right payments platform, check out the Braintree V0 SDK today. Just go to braintreepayments.com/twit. You can review the documentation there. It's simple, it's concise. You can play around in their sandbox and give it a try for yourself. Give Braintree a try with no commitment and test your integration before going to production. After you integrate Braintree, the first $50,000 in transactions are fee-free. That's braintreepayments.com/twit. Check it out for yourself. We thank Braintree for their support of All About Android and the Twit Network. All right, let's get to hardware. Okay, Samsung. What we got for Samsung, Gina?
This is the part where we make fun. I mean, the part where we discuss Samsung. Okay. So as we discussed here on the show, Samsung's profits have been falling as of late. The Wall Street Journal is now reporting that Samsung may be changing its approach to making phones, which the approach that we've discussed a lot here on the show, which is try every configuration possible. And it's going to trim its phone lineup in 2014 by at least 25%. So just to give you an idea, Samsung released 56 smartphone models in 2014 alone. 56 smartphone models. That's compared to Apple's 2, Motorola's 11, and HTC's 27. So, okay, if my math is right, my brain is fuzzy here. I'm on cold medicine. But if you're cutting by 25% and you've released 56, that still puts you ahead of HTC's 27. So you're still making more phone models than anyone else.
That is impressive. 56 smartphones in a year. Now, Ron, you wrote this article, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to make any difference at all. I don't know. It's insane. Just Samsung did really, really well for however many quarters just by virtue of scale. You know, they were basically McDonald's. It was like, how many stores in any developed country can you walk into and say, I want this cell phone and get it? Like, there's not that many models. There's, you can say that with an iPhone, you can say that with the Galaxy S, whatever, and that's about it. Like, Samsung's really the only, for a while at least, they were the only Android OEM that did scale, where you could just, you can just get a device anywhere on any carrier. And now, other people are trying to do that. There's all these different alternatives. Other people are making phablets, and they don't have anything left now. There was never anything special about their phones, and there still isn't, and their scale advantage is going away, and they're just kind of coming back down to earth. And I don't know. This won't change anything. This is a silly plan, but whatever.
You don't think that it's going to turn the tide of Samsung's kind of profit or turn the direction of their profit as it stands right now by reducing.
It's just a different era now. They have, Apple makes big phones now. They don't have a monopoly on big phones anymore.
That's true.
Xiaomi and Lenovo and all these other Chinese companies are going to eat up all of their low-end stuff. That's all going to go away too. And it's like, that's it. The happy days are over. There's really nothing you can do to bring it back. And like they seem to be in like a big, they seem to think that they can fight to get it back. Like I heard a thing the other day where it's like some manager over at Samsung is taking a huge pay cut and vowing to get their whatever market share back. And Samsung knows it won't work because they said their profit margin it used to be 15%, but they said it used to be 15, it fell to 7%, and they said they still expect it to be under 10 now. So they know that it's over.
But they have to do something.
What this is gonna accomplish.
They have to do something, right? What
they could make unique, awesome phones that people want to buy instead of just, here is our mediocre phone, please buy it because it's everywhere, which is basically the plan right now.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like this is going to just require sort of a corporate restructuring. Like if they've got tons of different teams, all like, shipping mediocre phones on such a tight schedule. Now they've got to get all these teams to work together and focus on the 3 or 4 or 40 leading models, right? Like that's just it's a company, it's a cultural shift that has to happen. But it seems like it's really the only thing that they can do. I mean, they've got to have a ton of losers on that slate of 56 models and a few winners, right? I mean, like that, I can't see it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the breakdown is for all the models, but it seems like what else could Samsung do? Like you said, what they can do is make really, really good phones and just, throw up, have the trash bin of ideas they decided not to do, get bigger and fill it.
Focus
right?
a little bit.
Versus and focus a little bit.
They've been trying to make some changes. Like if you look at the Galaxy Alpha and the Note 4, they've both been trying to, make phones with metal that are a little nicer, but, they still have plastic backs. They're still not that great. They're definitely better. But I think the biggest problem with Samsung is that the software is designed to benefit Samsung and not benefit the user, where it's just, let's push as many of our services as possible that we can and not let's create a device that the user will like. It's just, let's, pull customers in and get them to use our whatever cloud wallet service or whatever crazy clone thing they've come up with this week.
Yeah, well, and I think that's because they're trying to compete with Apple, not with the rest of Android. I think they see Apple doing exactly that, and some guy in a suit is over there at Samsung is saying we need to do that, and that's why they do it. And I think the next item is a great example of that, right?
Yes, So part 2 of the Samsung update is that Project Beyond is a new camera for the Gear VR. That's this thing. So this is Project Beyond is a camera that will capture 360-degree video and stream it to the virtual reality headset. It's meant to be mounted onto a tripod and static, but the goal is to allow you to teleport yourself to locations that have been recorded using the Project Beyond camera. Nicole Lee of Engadget tried it for herself and claimed the video was pixelated, which affected the experience. Saying it is obviously early days. So, yeah.
I like the thought here, though. I really like the idea behind this. A camera that is designed for VR technology. If it was, if the experience was perfect, that sounds awesome, right? Like put a camera in the middle of a great concert or whatever, and like experience it as if you're standing in the middle of the crowd or something. That would be freaking awesome.
I mean, this is basically what the Motorola Spotlight Player thing is, kind of.
Yeah, kind of is.
But like a real life version, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. It's just going to be a flat circle, right? I mean, you can't move around or anything.
No, exactly.
It's like time.
It's going to be like a 360-degree IMAX where you can just kind of spin and stare at it.
Exactly. And you won't be able to move
around. What would that video be of? Like, what video would you want to watch in 360-degree vision.
I think it's the idea to experience something, to like I mean, you saw in the video, it was teleporting people to San Francisco or to Paris or to wherever. It's like they're putting the camera down on a tripod and capturing the entire 360 degrees of that area, and then with the VR goggles you can go in and you can be there, and I guess
with the VR goggles you can lawnmower man it.
Yeah, exactly. But I just found it funny how much the camera itself in that product video looks like exactly read my mind.
Oh my God, no way! Really? Wow, you guys are on the same wavelength right there.
Audio listeners, it looks exactly like the top of the probe droid from The Empire Strikes Back.
And I hope you're going to be okay here, because I think you upset the probe droid and it's about to attack you, Ron.
Oh, I love the sound effect that one makes when it's like transmitting back to the Empire. But Bryan, I'm not alone. Like it looks exactly like that, right?
Oh yeah, that's the first thing I thought of for sure.
That is awesome.
Speaking of video, I hope that people are watching the show.
Yeah.
So does it record sound? I mean, can you attend a concert and like listen to the set in 360? Could we record AAA with this camera? I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to figure out here. I don't know if it's a still camera or a video camera. I think this in what Nicole saw was just a still camera sort of thing, but it's also kind of early stages. So you could totally see this moving into a video realm at some point, but I do think this is more still images than video. But more more stuff tapping into Gear VR, which
no, it says video.
Is it video? Okay,
yeah.
Well there you go.
And 3D video too. That's okay, I guess. I'd have to see it. I don't really.
Yeah, I'd love to
try it. I would try this. Sure.
All right.
I'm skeptical, but I would definitely like to try it and see what it's like. Pixelization would definitely take you out of the experience, but it sounds like that's just a first rev issue.
When I tried the Gear VR, the big problem with it was content. You know, there's really no such thing as a 3D VR Android game right now. And, you know, the Oculus guys, whenever they're on stage, are always talking about, you need to make this stuff from scratch. You can't just adapt an existing game to VR because it's not very good. And this is kind of, I guess, part of Samsung's strategy to get content for their little phone face computer thing.
Face computer thing. So there we go, Samsung. Moving on to some Nexus-y stuff. We've talked about a lot about Nexus on this show, but it's definitely still kind of a curiosity with this latest crop of Nexus devices, because I think the only thing that people have really spent a lot of time with in larger numbers is the Nexus 9. And then, Ron, you've spent some time with the Nexus 6, and you recently put up your review. You have it with you. What are your thoughts? What do you think?
It's really, really, really big. So if you're going to carry a device this large, like a 6-inch device, there are some benefits to it. There are some benefits that are at least supposed to be in the form factor when it's this big. So you're supposed to get a really, really, really big battery. And this does not have a big battery. It's 32, what is it? It's 3,220 milliamp hours. And, Huawei makes 6-inch phones with 4,000 milliamp hour batteries. And it's like, I don't really have a problem with this size. It's on the large end. But if I'm going to carry something this large, I want it to have the benefits of a large device. And this does not. It's just kind of you get a bigger screen, sure, but I would feel much, much better if they had just, packed the giant battery that you normally get in something this size.
Right. Yeah, you get that large battery, then you get the Quad HD screen, and then suddenly that large battery becomes normal battery.
Yeah, and there are one or two things in here that are really neat. It has the always-on voice chip, which from today forward is officially a deal breaker in new devices. You have to have an always-on voice chip for me to care about your phone.
It's that good.
Period. Yeah, it is so awesome to just kind of say, "Okay, Google," and have the phone light up, and yeah, it's that good.
Case in point.
Yeah, just kind of you don't have to touch it. You don't have to do anything. You just say, okay, Google, it lights up. You can ask it a question and you're good.
I'm positive yours is not the only phone that's going off right now.
I love doing it. I love doing it to the listeners now. That's my new favorite thing. When you see people complaining about us saying, okay, Google, and then triggering their phones.
Well, you do have to train it. You have to say, okay, Google 3 times. And
every time I hear the beep, it's funnier.
So a year from no. So what's going to be so awesome is like a year from now when everything has this, I'm just going to train everything and I'm going to say the word and like 700 devices will light up and you know,
be a symphony.
Them. So it's been on the Moto X, but with Lollipop, they cut out the middleman. So before, like, a Motorola app would turn on and capture your voice command and then pass it over to the Google search app. But now, you know, it's the Google app that listens all the time, so it's a lot faster. It works better. And it's built into Lollipop now. So any OEM who wants to use this can use it. And I've done more voice commands in the last week than I probably have in the last, like, 6 months.
Wow.
Just because it's really awesome.
And it works in a screen off state, right?
Yeah, totally off. Just awesome. Works all the time.
Love it.
I think we need a code word when we want to refer to that now. We got to say like OKG or like something else so we don't trigger our phones.
The hot word command.
Bleak in the chat room recommends you training OK Alta Vista. And if that is in fact what Bleak used, I just set off his phone. So there you go, Bleak.
The Moto X would allow you to pick a hot word. This demands that you say, okay, Google, and there's nothing, you're not allowed to change it or anything.
It's really good. I mean, it hasn't missed it once.
Every time.
Wow.
Here you go. No matching picture. No.
So, you know,
great.
just the next phone that you buy, make sure it has a voice.
Right.
Make sure it has a separate voice processor because you do not want to do this on the SoC because it will drain your battery down to nothing in like 2 seconds. So right now, those devices are the Nexus 6 and the Moto X. And actually, the Moto X is what, 2 inches? And, you know, it'll have a longer battery life than this. It apparently gets updated really, really fast. It's already on Lollipop. So, like, to me, what is the best Nexus device? It's probably the Moto X. Like, it doesn't have the branding, but it has just about everything else you would want.
So you're saying that one of the best phones of the year, Moto X 2014 edition, which, you know, I don't know, Gina, if you saw that email that's coming up. It's totally related to this.
It is.
We could probably just summarize it, actually. Caleb from Ohio wrote in about this, just basically saying, like, he's upgrading from an iPhone 5 to an Android device on Verizon in January and is having a hard time picking between the LG G3 and the 2014 Moto X. So what it sounds like you're saying is the Moto X would be the obvious choice, except one of Caleb's requirements is battery. And it sounds like the Moto X doesn't have as good a battery. What has your experience been on that, or what do you think about that?
Well, the LG G3 has the same problem that this has, that it has a 1440p screen, which you're not really going to notice and not really going to care about, but it will be there sucking your battery down faster than a 1080p phone would. So the Moto X might have a longer runtime. I don't know. They're all these phones kind of work out to be the same. There's not like a massive battery difference from one to the other anymore, other than like, you know, the Droid Turbo and the Sony X3 or whatever. Or Z3. There's like one or two standouts, and then everyone else just kind of ends up falling in the middle. But there's my biggest disappointment with the Nexus 6 is it doesn't have tap to wake that the Nexus 9 has. So, like, the Nexus 9, you can just tap on the screen twice and it lights up, and this doesn't do that. And why? I have no idea.
And I think I saw something earlier today that said that tap to wake for the Nexus 6 was actually in commits as of, like, September 10th. So,
right, yeah, I saw the commit that turns that off.
There's a hardware requirement to that, isn't there?
Nope.
Isn't there some sort of I thought there was some sort of hardware involved in that.
I don't know.
No, it's just a touchscreen. They just kind of leave the touchscreen on. I mean, maybe they could design the touchscreen to be slightly lower power, but
if it was if it was part of the commit and then it was removed, is that to say that it could be added back in?
I'm sure I mean, I've had it hacked into the Nexus 5 and Nexus 4, and it's not originally supported.
I see.
So
it must not be
anybody
hardware
can really
dependent.
do it if you have root. It's not super hard.
Right. Okay, so real quick here, you also wrote some great articles this past week on Lollipop and kind of comparing Lollipop to previous versions and everything. So definitely check out Ron's work on Ars Technica. A lot of really thorough, again, it's kind of like your history of Android posts. You have this Android 5 Lollipop thoroughly reviewed, you call it in the subject line, and that is totally accurate because it's pages and pages long. So anybody who's curious about all the features of Lollipop, there you go. There's your exhaustive list.
Thanks. There's still a lot of work that we kind of have to do for Lollipop. There's all these extra features that need to be unlocked by apps that aren't out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So you can split stuff up into like work and personal, and there's a kiosk mode and the camera API. There's all this stuff that doesn't really work yet that we're waiting on apps for. So
right.
there's still a ton more to write about it, but we're just waiting on Google.
And then finally, Sharp Aquos Crystal. You only have had it a couple of days, but go ahead and show it because we definitely talked about this on the show. This is Sharp's device.
I do have this. Look at the insane bezel on this thing. There is a bezel on the bottom there. But
crazy.
If you just kind of go like this and look at the top of the phone, it's just awesome
crazy.
looking.
If someone was holding that on the subway, I would look. Like I would notice that. It definitely draws your attention.
It is kind of thick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I think it's a mid-range device. I got this 2 days ago. I don't know anything about it at all other than it looks pretty. It's kind of slow. It runs KitKat. It's on Sprint right now. I think it came like that. But the crazy thing is the glass is above the device. Kind of they just stuck a slab of glass on top of it. So if you drop this, it's all over. Like the edges are beveled. Wait, can they?
Right.
There's no way to see that. But yeah, I mean, if you drop this, it's done. I can't imagine you can put a case on this because there's
right. What's
no
it going to
bezel
attach
on
around?
3 sides.
Yeah, that's a serious downside to bezel-less device.
Holding it is weird. You're kind of like you can't like some people want to hold stuff
See?
like this.
Right.
And
it's already pulling down the notification shade when you're holding it.
Yeah. So I mean, I love this. I think this is the future of phone design. The screen on this is awful looking. You can't tell, but the colors suck. But I think this is the future of phone design, but we need to figure stuff out like palm rejection or like, unnecessary touch rejection and how to build this in a way where the screen doesn't instantly shatter the second anything hits it. So it's one of those like fun devices where it's like, this is the future of phones someday, but right now it's full of compromises and stuff. But I will eventually have a review on that at some point.
Excellent. And then finally, Ron, this news kind of exploded this morning. Suddenly everybody's talking about their next tablet.
Well, yeah. So you know how Nokia sold their devices division of Microsoft earlier this year? Well, that didn't stop them from creating a new Android tablet, apparently. So Nokia announced the new N1 tablet that runs Lollipop and is stylistically designed the way we might expect the next Mac Mini to look like if it follows the design profile of the latest crop of iPhones. It's a 7.9-inch 2048 by 1536 resolution tablet with a 2.3 gigahertz quad-core, 64-bit Intel Atom Z3580 chip, 2 gig of RAM, 32 gig of storage, 8-megapixel rear-facing camera, 5-megapixel front-facing camera. It's got the first device to use the reversible USB Type-C connector. Which is kind of neat.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's running the Nokia Z launcher, which is their smart, intuitive launcher that launches apps for you and all that sort of stuff. Predicts what you're going to do, and it's a custom kind of launcher on top of it, which is pretty neat. The plan is to launch this in China by February 19th, 2015, which is a very specific date. Then to Russia and then some European markets. And finally, Nokia is licensing its brand to Foxconn for the hardware, and this gets Nokia around its restrictions around manufacturing its own devices. So Nokia they won't walk away from Android. They just they sold it all to Microsoft, but hey, we're gonna work around it. So there you go.
And it looks good. I mean, it looks pretty nice, I gotta say.
It does. I kind of want this thing.
And what is the price on it? That's something that I totally forgot to put into the thing, but I think it's really inexpensive. There we go. Yeah, it's pretty low.
Nice.
And it will have Google Apps package, so that's going to be in there in places that support it. Yeah, I mean, the design on this thing, it looks just like the, well, actually, it looks just like the iPhone. Here, I can show you here. It kind of follows the similar design touches of the iPhone.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you take a look at that tablet in the back of the tablet and everything, it very similar.
Well, it's clear that they're aiming for it. I mean, the Ramsey Hademus, the president of Nokia Technologies, which is Nokia's industrial research division, he described it as being as good as the iPad mini, but cheaper. So it's clearly they're just targeting, you know, the iPads. Mm-hmm. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah. Very curious to see. And obviously it's China, then Russia, and some European markets. So it doesn't seem like right now this is intended to be a worldwide big thing, but I imagine we'll see more from Nokia.
Well, and it's interesting because if they have manufacturing restrictions based on the sale to Microsoft, I wonder if there's also restrictions like could this ever make it to the U.S. market, or have they ceded the U.S. market to Microsoft through that sale?
Yeah.
So it's neat though. I'm curious.
Good question. Now, I realize I kind of, you know, it was a cardinal sin bringing an iPhone. You
said the I word.
I was going to say something.
On the show. Yeah, you see this iPhone right here? This iPhone that I have?
What's it doing on the show?
Well,
why?
Suddenly the screen
it's not doing anything, really.
It's not. I think maybe it powered down. I didn't mean to power it down. This actually isn't an iPhone. This is an Android. Totally powered down, as you could tell. It's a Chinese. No, it's a Chinese manufacturer.
That's a knockoff?
Yeah, this is totally a knockoff.
Really?
And I wish that I could show you the launcher. The launcher was working 10 minutes ago, but now it's not turning on. Apparently, I broke our Chinese.
Hold the power button down like forever.
Yeah. If I can get it powered on, I'm going to show you guys the software because that's really.
Wait. How do you say "Okay, Google" in Chinese?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally not turning on.
Ni hao ma, Google.
That's a real big bummer.
So is it an iPhone? Is it a real iPhone that has had Android installed on it, or is it just a knockoff?
It's a total knockoff. And what's crazy? It's a total. Isn't that crazy? And so, from what I understand, so Charbax, who is the owner and kind of the editor of ARMdevices.net, he comes in every year and brings in all these crazy knockoffs from, you know, Shenzhen and China and all around. That's kind of his thing. So this is the boot up screen. Apparently, it just decided to wake up and turn on all by itself, which kind of scares me a little bit.
Apple.
So when you buy this device, this is actually an Android logo. Oh, is this okay? And this is the real deal here. It's got a case on it, but so this is the real deal. Oh, thank you, Burke. I think it's cool on battery. So it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the two because this one has a case on it. But I mean, the design notes are very similar. Once this gets loaded up, you'll see the OS, and we can kind of thumb through it. Here you go. There's your lock screen. It's kind of still booting up and everything. This cost, I think, $112 in China versus what the real deal would cost, which is like close to $1,000 in U.S. currency.
And you get what you pay for. Clearly,
yeah. I was gonna say clearly.
Clearly, you do. I can't even show you the OS, but the OS is very interesting. Okay, so then here we go. Here's the real deal without the case on it. And no, honestly, it's not power because it's like it has like 25% battery in it, so I think it's just screwed.
It's just a knockoff.
It's a knockoff. Exactly. No, I don't even think that fits.
You need the special Chinese USB connector.
Yeah. So I wish I could show you the UI, but I can't obviously because it's a knockoff. But apparently, like in China, you got, you know, everybody's paying $100 for these versus paying $1,000 for the real deal. And the manufacturer of knockoffs like this is predominantly the majority of the phones that are walking around China at the moment, just because they are so inexpensive, yet they look so much like the real thing. The UI is really impressive. I so wish I could show it to you because they thought of everything. Touch ID even works. Doesn't really work, but it pretends like it works. So I can learn my fingerprint and then any fingerprint actually opens it. But you go through the whole process, the whole process and everything. It's just impressive. It's running Android, but it looks like iOS 8 entirely.
So that gives you good perspective on the Xiaomi. Like when we look at that and go, that's such a ripoff. And they're in China and they're like, what? No, what are you talking about? That's not a ripoff. This thing is a ripoff, where it's like totally, undistinguishable from an iPhone 6. That's the level of ripoff where it's like the trademarked Apple logo is literally on the back and it says iPhone. That's a ripoff in China. Oh, well, like the Xiaomi in China is not a ripoff.
Right. No, so I have the Mi 4 here actually. So this is what you're talking about, the Xiaomi Mi 4, which looks just like an iPhone 5. Well, maybe not the back, but the side.
Oh, that looks merely inspired at this point.
Right.
Yes, exactly. This looks more inspired
more original.
Versus this, which is just totally a knockoff. So when you buy this, so from what Charbax was telling me, when you buy this, it doesn't have the Apple and it doesn't have this. What you do is you buy the device and then you go across the street. Here, let's see if this fits.
Oh, totally does.
You go across the street.
It has a lightning connector?
Apparently it does. Apparently it has a lightning connector, which kind of blows my mind.
Wild. So okay, you go across the street and they carve the apple in for you?
And then they basically make the etching for you.
Because you can see when the light reflects off the apple, you can kind of tell that it's been like etched in there. Or maybe that's just
there's a little bit of a scratch on it. But it's a really impressive knockoff, I have to say. And man, I so wish you could see the UI. If I can get it up and running, I'll bring it out a little bit later in the show. But there we go.
That's banana cakes. That's crazy.
I don't even know what it's called. I just know that it's a knockoff. Like, I can't even tell you what company made it, but there you go.
The most convincing iPhone knockoff.
I know, right?
Ever.
So let's see here. Let's take a break and thank another sponsor of this week's episode. I'm so happy to talk about these guys. Harry's. Harry's is fixing a problem most of us have. I actually have a kit right here. Paying too much for overpriced razors. I have to tell you, so I've been using Harry's now for a couple of months. I have a kit at home. Here's the kit. It's full of lots of awesomeness. You've got, your shave gel. It's just really high quality stuff that you're sent. Aftershave lotion. You've got your actual razor, which I can better show you right here. Just a high-quality razor. You've got a pack of blades. So I've been using this pack for the last couple of months at home. And, I've used Gillette and Gillette razors all my life. And, whatever. It is what it is. It's a known quantity. And I never had tried anything else. I've been using these things and loving this kit. Harry's kit of razor blades is just great. It actually makes me look forward to shaving in the morning. I realized this when I went to the gym a couple of days ago and completely forgot this kit and ended up bringing my other razor blade instead. And I felt like I was slumming it again. It sucked. Oh. And I nicked my face, and it was like, really? Seriously? So my level of quality has raised as far as shaving kits are concerned. And thankfully, Harry's is here to save the day. Shaving with the dull blade is not fun. Like I said, you're going to cut yourself, you're going to scrape yourself. And not to mention, razors are normally very expensive, about $4 a blade. So if you're shaving every day, you're spending hundreds of dollars a year just on razors. When we go to the store to buy them, sometimes we have to deal with those locked cabinets, which can be a pain sometimes. So there's a company, that's Harry's, right here, that's aiming to fix this for you. And they're going to ship these to your door. That's kind of the beauty of it. You don't have to go out of your way to get this stuff anymore. It's delivered right to you. It's high-quality razors, half the price of the big brand blades, made in their own factory in Germany. They engineer them themselves for sharpness, high performance, no more dull blades. And they ship them free to your door. Harry's is bringing this box of razor blades and all of the refills, whatever you happen to sign up for, to your door directly, so you don't have to think about it anymore. And because they ship and make their own blades, it's a more efficient company. So they can give you factory direct pricing. Harry's guarantees your satisfaction. In each kit, you get a razor, the handle. It feels great. 3 razor blades, foaming shave gel. And the starter Truman kit is an amazing deal. You get all this for $15. And if you haven't heard, this month is Movember. So there are a bunch of guys not shaving in support of research on men's major health issues. And Harry's is making a donation to the Movember Fund to show their support. So whether you're growing your beard or you want an amazing shave, Harry's is a company that you can feel good about. Check it out for yourself and raise your own bar as far as your shaving standards are concerned. Go to harrys.com and get $5 off your first purchase with code AAA and support Movember in the process. That's $5 off your first purchase only when you go to harrys.com and enter code AAA at checkout. Check them out for yourself, harrys.com. Code AAA, and we thank Harry's for their support of All About Android.
It is without hyperbole to say that Harry's is a life-changing product. Hands down. It has changed everything about me and shaving. So.
And it's very obvious, Ron, you're a dude that shaves. Sometimes.
I'm due. Sometimes. But yeah, they're great. Tonight I'm going to shave. After I'm going to shave my London beard and be fresh and ready to go tomorrow. So that's not bad.
Shave that London off your face.
Yeah, got to get that smoke off. So.
All right, let's get into some apps. All right, and quickly, because we're a little long right now. We usually are at this point of the episode.
Shocking.
Yeah, I know. Weird.
It happens.
Google Search, big deal, right? Anytime Google Search app gets an update, it's worth talking about. Of course, this time we got some material design updates. Everything in the Google world is getting the material design update, along with some new commands. So Google first actually catches plans inside of your emails and reminds you of them. So if you had an email that's talking about dinner with somebody, it'll actually catch that for you and throw it into Google Now, which is awesome. I love when it does that, even though some people kind of get a little creeped out about the whole Google, scanning my email. Look, it's robots. It's not people as far as we know. At least I tell myself that. Okay, Google Voice Search also adds the ability to search into apps. So I can show this off here. Let's see here. Let's see. Search Netflix for Walking Dead. And we'll wait. And searching Netflix. Whoa. It'll launch Netflix. It'll do a search for Walking Dead, and there you go. Cool. Pretty awesome. So I think this requires a little bit of tweaking on the app side of things for developers to bring code in there that allows this searching to take place inside the apps. But pretty awesome. I know Tumblr has some of this integrated, and we'll probably see a lot more. And then of course there's Flip a Coin. Which, okay, fine, we'll do it. Okay, Google, flip a coin. No, not what a coin. You're wrong. Flip a coin. There we go. And flipping.
I just love this.
That's cool.
There we go. Tails. I win.
Love it.
All right. So there you go. Google Search updated.
Right, but can Google Search flip a coin do heads I win, tails you lose? Is that in the settings?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Because that still works on people.
You actually made me think for a second. I was like, wait, what are you trying?
Oh,
me too. I was like, wait. Oh.
So, anyway, well, also in Google app update news, no joke, I'm not even saying this to stress this. Literally a week ago, I thought to myself, hey, can you share a note from Google Keep with someone else? Because that could be really cool. And I looked and you couldn't. And then sure enough, now you can.
Now you can.
So as part of the material update, as well as adding new features, Google Keep now allows you to have shared lists that are updated in real time so that you can add something to Google Keep and share it with your friends and family. And then if you make a change to it or they make a change to it, it happens in real time, which is pretty cool.
Excellent. So, love it.
Oh, I'm trying to get there. Make a change.
Oh, are you trying to make a change live?
I'm trying to make a change.
Oh, no. Is it going to happen? Is it going to... Oh, I really do. That's awesome.
I love the G-Keep. So,
G-Keep.
That's great.
That's pretty cool.
Totally going to use this. This is going to come in handy.
That's cool. That's the first reason I've seen you use Keep over Evernote.
Yes.
I'm still not convinced.
Well, it's funny you should say that because I have been in the process of switching from Evernote to Keep, and that was the thing that got me. I'm like, oh, I wish I could share this, and then now it's like it's even better. So
I use both. They both have different
both,
uses for me.
We talked about this like a couple months ago when I was struggling.
Okay.
Remember when I was struggling with it? Yeah, but so I still have Evernote and I still use it, but I stopped paying the premium things. I got rid of a lot of my micropayments.
Yeah.
But I'm using Keep more and more for just quick lists and quick like notes and things like that. It's really cool. Completely unrelated, on the Android official blog about this Google Keep article, I noticed it has all the Android and Me people. I wanted to report back from London. It was all over the place in London. On the escalators to get down to the underground, they have little TVs along the side, and they had total takeovers of Android, the whole Android campaign. Yeah, it was all over. So it's pretty cool to see.
They're everywhere at this point. Yeah. I'm like, I've gotten used to seeing those ads everywhere at the now. Like, oh yeah, there's another Android.
I still get excited. It's still
no, it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome to see them. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not jaded like you, Jason.
Whatever. Marketing. All right, and finally,
last bit of that news. Yeah. Snapchat. Snapchat unleashed a new payment system called Snapcash, and this is powered by Square. So users type in the amount to share inside a private message, like here's $5 for lunch, and the app will see the $5 part and surface a green payment button that you could tap to send the payment with the message, and Square handles all the payment info. This is the part that Ron's really going to like. This update was pushed out to Android first, with iOS getting the update soon.
Well, I still think you should do it both.
There you go.
I still think you should do it at the same time. I do have to say that the video at the top of that post is really more than we needed.
Energetic.
That guy is way too excited to be receiving that dollar, and she is way too excited to be sending it.
Have my money!
Yeah, I know.
Woo!
Yeah.
This just shows you how fun giving people money can be.
What's weird about it is that she's... Can you run it again, Brian, there? I'm sorry. She's slightly angry. Like, there's a little, like, you know, and then, like, she's got a little, like, it's mean. And then it's as if you told him that, like, flight was possible. It was like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to him. It's very strange. It's very, very strange.
She's making it rain.
Yeah. Make it rain.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
Is sending money with your self-destructing pictures a thing? This is totally filed under the, like, I'm too old for this.
I've never installed Snapchat. I've never used Snapchat. I will not use Snapchat. Like, anyway.
This just makes Snapchat even creepier, if you ask me. I mean, like, you know what people use Snapchat for, and now you're adding money into the equation, and it's just like, I don't, that's just weird. There's so many other ways to send people money now. You can do it through your bank website or Google Wallet or all these other apps. Snapchat's just weird. Yeah. I don't need to send money through Snapchat, man.
This is the episode that we should probably call, like, We're Old or something.
Yes. Get off our lawn.
Yeah, get off our lawn.
No, really.
You just go to YouTube and watch, like, PewDiePie or whatever, and you're instantly like, I am so old, I don't understand why this person is popular.
I'm officially out of touch.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's sad, really.
That dude, by the way, $4 million in 2013, I believe. He said in a Reddit AMA. That's just crazy for those videos. Anyways, yes, we obviously don't know what the kids know. Let's take a final break and thank our last sponsor of today's episode. And I love these guys. It's lynda.com, which is an easy and affordable way to help you learn. If you haven't checked out Lynda, you should do it. Because the videos are just top-notch. You can learn so much using lynda.com. You can stream thousands of courses. They're created by experts on all sorts of topics: software, web development, graphic design, Android, everything. Lynda.com works directly with industry experts and software companies to provide timely training. Many times, the same day new versions or releases hit the market, so you're always up to speed. All courses are produced the highest quality, not like those homemade videos on YouTube that we were just talking about. These are courses that are broken into bite-sized pieces so you can learn at your own pace from start to finish, or you can just hop in and find a quick answer if that's what you're looking for. Tools include searchable transcripts, there's playlists, certificates of course completion, which you can publish to your LinkedIn profile. If you're a beginner, or if you're advanced, lynda.com has courses for all different experience levels. You can learn while you're on the go as well with the lynda.com apps for Android and iOS. One low monthly price of $25 gives you unlimited access to over 100,000 video tutorials, and premium members with an annual plan can download courses to watch them offline, which is pretty awesome. Premium plan members can also download project files and practice along with the instructor. So there's always new courses appearing on lynda.com. Just a sample of some of the new courses that have hit recently: Google AdWords Essential Training. There's Writing for the Web, Project Management Simplified, collaborative design. There's Managing a Team. There's even a course on music law, recording management rights, and performance contracts. That sounds awesome. So, check it out. I've used Lynda for a lot of music-inspired projects. I've also used Lynda for here at work, learning how to edit on Adobe Premiere when we were switching from Final Cut to Premiere, and it's just incredibly helpful. You can watch them start to finish, or just hop in, like I said. And that's what I did a lot with Premiere. If I had a question about a particular thing, I could just hop in, do a keyword search through the transcripts, and get right to the problem that I was trying to figure out an answer for. Super helpful. For any software you rely on, lynda.com can help you stay current with all software updates and learn the ins and outs to be more efficient and productive. And we've got a special offer for you to access all of the courses free for 10 days. Visit lynda.com/allaboutandroid and try lynda.com free for 10 whole days. It's a third of a month. That's lynda.com/allaboutandroid. Get yourself some smarts. Check out lynda.com and watch some videos. It's a lot of fun. All right. Thank you, Lynda, for your support of All About Android and the Twit Network. And without further ado, it's time to battle in the arena.
So many enter, but only one lives. Android Arena.
Oh, sorry, there's smudges on this tablet.
It's this last week's arena that really makes me wonder about the audience now.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Where are we at here?
A little bit. Well, if you look at the poll results for episode 187, where we had a couple of guests, we had Amadeo was in studio,
Phil Nickinson,
and Phil Nickinson was there, and the winning app was Amadeo's Goat Simulator app with 41%.
Got to say, I saw it coming.
Yeah.
Goat Simulator.
Yeah.
And I'm not bitter because my app came in second with 31% with True Dialer. I'm not bitter. No.
You're not.
It's a little sour grapes to me there, Ron. I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying. I don't know.
This
Did
doesn't
you see
have to do with,
Gina?
the
Gina,
fact that we're coming down to the wire here, and you and I are, even with me being out last week.
I know.
Fighting for your lives.
But Gina, did you see Goat Simulator?
I confess I didn't, but I'm scared. Just given the title, I'm scared.
Yeah, I would go look at it and then see. I'm separating myself from it. I'm just saying, go look at it and then get back to me. That's all I'm saying. So
all I'll say is Mateo rules. So
yes, Mateo does rule. Yes, I'm teasing. I love it. So. I would much rather lose to the guest than to either of you. So there you go.
I think Mateo has his hand on the pulse of the All About Android audience and knows that goats sell. Goats sell.
Yep. Yeah. Jeez.
See? Even you can lick with a goat
amazing.
Tongue. Yeah, it really is great.
Yeah. Amazing is a word.
It's best when it completely messes up and you're sitting there wondering, like, is it broken or what am I supposed to do? Because you get caught in between things, and it's obviously a rendering issue, and all you can do is respawn, and that's the goal. That's one of the goals. Yay, you win. No, Goat Simulator is awesome. Check it out if you haven't already. And obviously you have, because you all voted it to the top. Thanks. So what does that leave for the rest? So that is, Ron, you were True Dialer?
Yes.
Okay, you were second at 31%. I was third with Polygen at 16%. And Slack came in fourth with 12%. So that means I'm a loser. I'm a loser, baby. Why don't you kill me? All right. Skyforce 2014. That's what I picked this week. Why did I pick it? Because it's awesome. It's a game, and it's free, and it really kind of harkens back to, I don't know, you'll see when I show it off here. It's really just one of those games where you are flying along. There's, these planes come out of the side in certain patterns. So and I'm going to try and play this sideways. So this is a power up, so I can get that. If I let go, things slow down. So you can kind of take a break, right?
Nice.
And, it just has really addictive gameplay with a lot of really cool requirements in order to pass along. It's very hard, particularly as you go along. Different kind of like these boats, for example, they take a lot more firepower, and You know, the red thing that I picked up, that's health, and things get really chaotic the longer you play. But the replay value is super high, and the graphics are just great. Everything's super smooth. You can rescue people, so I'm going to go ahead and rescue that guy. Yay. And yeah, I don't know. I find myself playing this all the time lately, and it just reminds me of the games that I used to love as a kid in the arcade. It's got a really good kind of arcade quality to it, and yeah, I don't know what else do you expect. It's a lot of fun. It's called Skyforce 2014. And I don't know what else I can really say about it, because you just kind of got to play it, and I'm going to die very soon anyway, so see, there you go. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. And there you go. So it'll kind of add it up, and you can rank against, you know, all of your friends and everything like that as well. So there I am, 16 on the list. I suppose I could be better at this game. Well, I will keep playing. And there it is, Skyforce 2014. I hope you enjoy it, and you should check it out. If you like this kind of game, you're going to love it. All right, moving onward and upward. Let's see here. Ron Amadeo, let's go to you next. You have an app that I quite love, actually. Why don't you talk about it? I'll show it off.
Yes, so my app is Today Calendar, which is very timely because Google completely ruined Google Calendar with the new update.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, absolutely. In the new Google Calendar update, they took away pinch zoom. They took away month view. They reduced the week view from 7 days to 5. So it's totally useless. Today Calendar is a material design calendar app, and it just looks really pretty, and it's very nice. That's not actually month view. That's a mini calendar. If you click on something somewhere, you can change views. I don't know how it works on a tablet.
There we go.
There you go, month view.
Month view. Whoa! I've got a lot going on this month.
Crap.
Someone's busy.
Wow.
Wow. I gotta go, you guys. I got some work to do.
Whoa.
So yeah, if you were using Google Calendar on a phone, you there just wouldn't be anything. There's no month view at all. So this is just kind of a calendar app. It's done right. It works. It looks great. It's fast. And full disclosure, the guy who does the design for this is Liam from Android Police.
Yeah.
So
he's been on the show.
Yeah, you're right. He was on the show the other day. So yeah, it's just really cool, and it works well. And you need a new calendar app if you install the new Google Calendar. It's not any good. They just took away so many features, and this will bring them all back. So it's you get a 30-day trial for free, and then after that it is $6. And updates happen all the time. There's still a ton of work they need to do on the tablet version. They said, all this tablet stuff is new as of last week or something. But I'm mostly concerned with my calendar app on a phone, and for that, Today Calendar is the best thing out there.
I don't mind the Google Calendar update, but you're right. I definitely miss the month view. And I do like Today Calendar better than Google's official app. I was very curious to see how the Google Calendar app was going to look. This just ran out of batteries. Well, I'm not surprised. I hope I have Gina's app installed in something else. I'll have to do that real quick. But I was very curious to see what the differences were going to be, right? Because material design is a very kind of specific kind of design approach. And Today did a really good job at taking the material design rules and applying it to what I thought a Google Calendar was just going to end up looking like, because it looks like it follows to a T. And they have subtle differences. They have some similarities, but I agree. Today Calendar is just very well done. And,
well, Liam is one of the internet's foremost experts on material design. So if anybody's going to get it right, it's him.
Yeah.
So so yeah, it looks great, and of course it does because Liam made it.
Yep. Agreed. Okay, so let's see here. I'm scrambling to install Gina's app, even though Gina, well...
Oh, sorry about that, Jason.
No, not at all. I installed it on a tablet that had no battery, apparently, so it's kind of my fault. Okay.
I can start talking about it.
Yeah, go ahead and start talking about it. It's going to be installed here in a second, and I can show it off.
Cool. So my pick this week is called Wonder Walk. It's Wonder with a U, and it is free, and it's basically kind of like a concierge or a tour guide in an app, and it's really simple. The concept is really simple. Walking is good for you. It's healthy. It's good for you. So you bring up Wonderwalk and you say, I am looking for, I'm hungry for, I'm thirsty for, I'm shopping for, I'm looking for. You can say, hey, you know what? I'm hungry for pie and I'm thirsty for a latte and I'm shopping for books, for example. So yeah, it actually asks you to enter a couple of things there. So Jason just entered pie and today give us a few more interests. So you can, you say apple pie and then the next one you can say I'm thirsty for. Yeah, I'm interested.
No,
I was wondering
apple
how it was going to work in Petaluma.
Okay, let's do an obvious one.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, coffee. There we go.
Coffee, pizza. Well, that coffee should probably go in the thirsty for.
Sorry. Oh boy.
That's all right. Yeah, try.
No, I'm hungry for coffee. Actually.
I'm hungry for coffee. Try coffee.
I eat coffee
and
for breakfast.
Yeah, that should. There's got to be. So what it does is it finds 7 stops based on the things that you entered, right? And it within walking distance, and it creates a walking tour for you, and it shows you all these coffee shops along the way. So you can see it created a map there with coffee shops. These are all based on the Foursquare API, so these are all generally well rated, good coffee shops. If you see one you don't like and you want to take it off your itinerary, you can just tap the delete button and it'll take it off. And it works really well if you enter like a couple things. You say like I'm hungry for pie, I'm thirsty for coffee, and I'm looking for books. And it'll make this itinerary with up to 7 stops, like I said, totally walkable. And then you can customize it if you want. And it basically maps your route out in a loop. So this works really well in urban areas or denser areas. It worked really well here in Brooklyn. I tried it in a couple of different neighborhoods with a few different combinations of interest, and it almost always came up with a route. If you search for something obscure, I mean, at some point I was like, I want bubble tea and a grilled cheese and a museum. It was like, no, I got nothing near you because there just wasn't a spot nearby. But for the most part, it does really well, especially with easy stuff like pizza or coffee or a park. There's also an I'm shopping for item that you can switch to. So if you're looking for, books or whatever, if you're looking to, clothing or whatever, you can change it. And it's just a really neat way, I think, not only to kind of explore your own neighborhood if you got a Saturday with a few chores and you want to just, walk around and see the place. It's good for if you're going to a new city and you just want to find new places, because these are all places, like I said, it's based on the Foursquare API. So they're generally, highly recommended places, pretty good recommendations. I tried it in neighborhoods that I know, and all the places that it chose were like places that I like and have been to, and it'll show you your itinerary, like Jason's showing right there. It'll show you the places that you're stopping, what number they are. You can delete any place from your itinerary if you don't like it. You can sign in with Facebook, or you can create your own account with username and password, and then you can start your tour and it'll walk you through your route. And it's just kind of a neat little way to, walk around the neighborhood or the area and discover a new place, or just, find places that you like based on what you're looking for.
There was such a bad example where it's like, I'm going to go for a walk and I'm going to hit up 7 coffee shops. And by the time you're done that walk, you will be so energized. It's like coffee shop clubbing or coffee shop hopping or something.
Yeah, it definitely works better if you add a bunch of different things. If you're like, I'm looking for pizza and craft beer and, I don't know, a record shop, right? Like that'll be a good walk. But the 7 coffee shops might be a little redundant.
You'll be sprinting home in record time.
It's true.
Yeah, you'll get back a lot faster than you got there. Cool. Excellent. So this is Wonderwalk. That's Wonder spelled W-U-N-D-E-R.
Yep. And explore any city, which they're clearly putting in the title so that it's easier to find in the Play Store.
Right. Wonderwalk. One word. Explore any city. And that is free. All right, now on my rotation of devices for this,
we're making it work.
I'm now down to the Xiaomi Mi 4 for Ron's app. Let me clean it off. Ron, go ahead and talk about it, and I'll pull it up.
Yep, we're making it work after a couple of apps that are more on the productivity side, and considering that I wasn't sure if I'd be on the show tonight and didn't have time to really prepare, I went with the game that I've been playing the most recently, which is a game called The Tower, and it's a simple one-tap game. That the idea is that you get this base building to start with once you log in with Google Play Services and all that fun stuff. But the idea is you get this base of a building, and then you get this piece of the building sliding. And when you tap the screen, anywhere on the screen, it stops the piece of the building where you tapped it. and the idea is to build the tallest tower you can. And it does speed up and slow down, and the idea is to try to match the pieces.
I see.
With the piece before it, and that when you have a little on the edge on either left or side, it will break off that piece and only give you the piece that overlaps with the piece below it. So if you're really, really good at it and get perfects, what can happen is that you can build a tower pretty high. My high score at this point, I think, is 68 levels. And it's just been a nice kind of zen kind of one-tap game that I've been able to do on the subway and on my commute to work. And I did it on the plane a lot today, actually. And the graphics are really, really nice. I mean, you see it there in the demo that Jason's doing. But Brian, if you go to the Google Play Store and look at kind of a zoomed in of the screenshots, you can see that it's got this really nice, almost, this flat color-based design that kind of fits in with the direction that we've been seeing with Android in general. Basically with every level that you get, you earn coins, and then you can use those coins to purchase different types of buildings. So they have skyscrapers and lighthouses and things like that. And ultimately, the goal of the game is to reach space, which is to build the highest tower you can. So so it's a good game. I mean, it's nothing super original. It's like there are other stacking games that are out there, but the combination of the music that this game has, plus the graphics, plus the interface, just made it a lot of fun. I've been enjoying a good time with it. So there you go, the tower, and it's free in the Google Play Store. It's got in-app purchases. You can buy power-ups and redos and undos and things like that if you want to, but I don't really do that. So, yeah. So
I want to be awesome at this game. It's really hard, particularly now, because what am I even working with anymore?
Yeah. Oh yeah, personal best.
Man.
It does really good. It's a good job of telling you when you clear a point that you previously were, or to reward you. Like when you get perfect, it's like perfect or good, and like it kind of encourages you to keep going. So yeah, like you got 21. Like I said, my high is 68. I haven't gotten the space yet, but I think someday I will be able to. So there you go.
Let's see here. How do I rank? None of my circles has played to tower yet. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, that'll change. There we go. This is the tower.
Yes.
All right. And that is free as well. Excellent. All right. It's time to place your vote. Actually, no, you can't because I haven't hit send yet. I forgot about that. I've been so busy showing off apps. I haven't been able to share this.
You don't have enough hands, man.
Do I have a bead of sweat dripping off my forehead at this point? You will be able to, in a second, go to AAApoll.com/188. Shorten URL. Okay. That should work here in a second. AAApoll.com/188 is the place to go. Hey, it worked. And let your voice be heard. Did you enjoy Skyforce 2014, Today Calendar, The Tower, or Wunderwalk, or Wonderwalk, depending on how you pronounce that?
It might have been Wunderwalk.
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 I think that's how they say it when it's W-U-N-D, right? Wunder.
Yeah.
Wunder. There you go, AAApoll.com/188. Or you can go to the All About Android community on Google+. You'll see it pinned at the top when I do that in a few minutes. And that is it for this week's episode of All About Android. Ron Amadeo, always a pleasure having you on the show, sir. Thank you for joining us once again.
Always fun to be here. I will come by anytime.
Excellent. We will have you anytime.
All right.
Where can people find your work? You got anything cool kind of in the pipeline? What you want people to know?
ArsTechnica.com is the big long stuff, and then I have regular rants and or musings on Google+, just plus Ron Amadeo. And I guess my next project is this crazy bezel-less
the Aquos crystal.
Here. Yeah, the sharp Aquos crystal. I guess I will review that. I don't know, Thanksgiving's coming up, whatever. But yeah, just Google me. You'll find stuff.
Excellent. Thanks once again, Ron. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Gina, I hope you continue to feel better.
Thank you. I'm already feeling better now that we've done the show. I feel centered. I missed you guys last week.
Oh, missed you too. It is good to have you on tonight. What do you want people to know?
I think that everybody's watching tonight should come on by and watch Twig this week in Google tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a great show as it usually is. We talk about Google, a little tiny bit about Android, but I've also got a cool little thing launching tomorrow, just a little thing. And I'm going to talk about it on Twig, so it'll be fun. Stop on by.
I'm intrigued.
I know. I don't mean to be mysterious. Sorry.
Just dropped a bomb right there.
Exciting.
It's a little tiny holiday fun thing.
Oh, okay.
So you should come on by and watch.
Excellent. Well, I will be there for sure.
Yes, I'm excited you are. Excellent.
And Ron, what about you, sir?
Yeah, so you can go to about.me/RonXO. You can find links to all my Google Plus and Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. I posted a very important photo from my England trip on my Google Plus page during the show, so you can go check that out. I stopped by a very important landmark that I'd never been to, so that was fun. And I was over in England because I was working for Image Comics while I was over there, and that's where you can get some great comics like Saga and Casanova, which is coming out, and other great stuff. And also, if you're going to be in San Francisco in January, we've got Image Expo coming up, which is our kind of like our little Google I/O, but for comics. And you can buy a ticket. You can see Brian K. Vaughan of Saga, Todd McFarlane of Spawn, Scott Snyder of Witches, and we're gonna have some great folks there. So it's gonna be a good time. And that's what I'm gonna be working on for the next month and a half. So yay!
Welcome to the next month and a half of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So.
Awesome. Thanks, Ron. Yep. Get some rest. Brian, what about you? Or the back of Brian's head?
Yeah, this is the best I can do. Come watch Know How on Thursdays with me and Padre. I know I've been plugging the quadcopter thing the last few weeks, but the really cheap one that you can buy, you can modify the antenna, and I haven't tested this out yet, but I'm pretty sure I've extended the range beyond what it should be. So come check that out on Thursdays at 11.
Nice. Did you overclock a copter?
We haven't gotten to that point yet, but that's
close.
Next on the list. Yeah. Wow. We've been having a lot of fun with it.
That monitor setup is awesome. I am so jealous.
Wow, this is my office.
It's all just to impress when the camera goes to him. He actually only needs like 2 buttons.
Yeah,
he looks so busy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No, I'm hitting like all of these all the time.
Sure you are, Brian. I've watched what you do during the show.
Boop boop beep beep beep.
There's a single button that just switches to whoever happens to be talking. It's kind of like Google Hangouts.
The show is actually run by, it's totally automated. That's what nobody realizes, that the TriCaster is sentient and does everything. and Brian just sits there to make sure it doesn't wig out.
Yeah, I feel like Homer Simpson at the nuclear plant. Like, I don't know how any of this works. I just sit here and look at it.
Sure, I want a tab, sure.
You've got the little woodpecker that dips into water and it's pressing a button.
Yeah,
exactly.
Excellent. Thank you, Brian. And you can find me at about.me/Jason Howell. Follow my musical exploits at yellowgoldmusic.com. You can help me. There's the site, yellowgoldmusic.com. You can help me submit, and actually all of us here, we're creating best of episodes for the last week of the month where we're normally dark. We do best of episodes with clips from all of our big shows, and we need your help. So if there's been a moment this year or, now until the end of the year, we end up getting a lot of submissions for the end of the year for obvious reasons. You can send in your info for that, and the more info you have, the better. That helps us kind of collect these moments and create an awesome episode for you. That's twit.tv/bestof. Pretty easy to remember. And, do that. Help us out. I also have another Android show on the network called Android App Arena, and just did an episode which was Viewer's Choice. Working on an episode for this Wednesday all around photo editors, photo editing apps for Android. So that's tomorrow. You can find that show always at twit.tv/arena. But that is it for this show and for this week. Voicemails can be left at 347-SHOW-AAA. You can send us an email at AAA@twit.tv. You can find us on Twitter. We're at Android Show. We're on Reddit. It's, twitaaa.reddit.com. You can also find us on Google+. There's a community there with a lot of people participating there. You can also find the poll there. Just search for All About Android on Google+. You'll find us. And show notes and past episodes can always be found at our show page at twit.tv/AAA. You'll also find our episodes on YouTube and iTunes. And you can catch us live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, live.twit.tv. That is it for this week. We'll see you next week on another episode of All About Android.